Welcome to this week's weekly video. We got a lot going on, confusion, a lot of people calling for bubbles. This is an AI bubble. A lot of people talk about Iran war. Absolutely nothing's happening on that front. There continues to be like ceasefire, like deals trying to be made, but it continues to be rejected. And the market just continues on. It keeps on keeping on. This is pretty wild. So we're looking at the SPX here. This is the cash index for the SPY. Let's just go from this low of from last week and to this high. We are up 17% in 28 trading days, straight up since the 30th of March, all of April, just straight up. Pretty wild, except we got a little bit of a little choppy consolidation work here. It just continues to go. What is driving this? We'll get there. NDX, even more. My gosh, this is the last time I updated this, I guess. Let's add in a few more days and add in a few more percents. 28% in 28 days. That's an average of 1% per day over the last month and a half, which is absolutely insane. This market is wicked strong. A lot of people again calling for bubbles, AI bubbles. Obviously a pullback would be absolutely great. With tech leading this, I would be mindful and watch for a pullback. And if there is a pullback, just know that most likely tech is going to pull back harder than the 500 names versus the 100 names. Okay, so tech is going to pull back a little bit harder than the S&P 500, most likely. Here's the equally weighted tech here. This is just now almost hitting all-time highs. It's only 1.3% away, 1.03% away. Now would be a good time to find some potential supply, just like usual, right? And so that could lead this to pull back here. RSP, this looks good. This looks like it's ready to break out already. Pulled back, V recovery, hit prior supply, set a higher low at the 21 EMA, popped higher, made a higher high, and now it's setting a higher low, potential higher low versus this Monday at the 8 EMA. It's getting tight underneath prior highs. This is general market, equally weighted. So this takes out the weight of the heavyweights. So across the board, equal weight across the board. This market is strong. There's a lot of confusion on why. But because nothing has really changed with Iran war, which is what everyone thought, from my understanding, was going on, and why this was making the market move. Basically, nothing has really changed. So why does it keep going? What leaves it is the AI build out, AI infrastructure, what AI is going to bring, and things like that. We had jobs claim. I think it added like 115,000 jobs or something like that. So that was good. Whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of people that do not believe it. They're bogus numbers from this administration, which is a fine argument, but I don't know what else we really have to work with. Microsoft, I was looking for Microsoft. Bounce pop last week out of this downtrend line. It did, broke out. Would have been a nice little quick trade if you took profits here, but it's now retesting that downtrend line. So it looks interesting. Amazon. So I have expanded my my universe world to quite a few names. We're going to go through it real quick, but I have a structure that I'm looking at it through. This is basically the CapEx funders of the AI demand, right? So we have companies that create the demand for these names. So this is Microsoft, Amazon, Meta chopping around, not doing anything. Google, super strong name, probably needs a pullback. I'm not chasing up there. Oracle looks good. I said this for the past few weeks, that Oracle looks like it's turning around, especially after it broke this consolidation. It is now above the 200. I can delete this pivot on gap here, and it came back, it retested, and after the retest, it just freaking ripped. So look for pullbacks, look for time corrections. I would say Oracle is in play, so pay attention to Oracle. Apple, very strong. It's making all-time highs. It's a little extended. I think a little pullback or maybe some rest is going to be pretty solid for it. We don't have to worry about earnings anymore. Tesla, I said this last week, keep Tesla on your radar. It broke down trend line, consolidated, pushed, set a higher low. And I tried to get in on Monday. I missed my entry opportunity because I was at work, and it just ripped without me, which is fine. Part is what it is. Tesla, keep it on your radar for continuation. We have a trend change. This is a name that moves, and when it moves, it moves. So keep it on your radar. Okay. Palantir, this isn't doing anything. It's pretty boring right now. We got earnings out of the way. Great, chopping around, kind of like Hood. CrowdStrike, this is another name that I said, hey, watch a reversal out of here on the retest. And then what has it done over the past week or so? Absolutely exploded. Did it explode without me? Yes, it did, which is fine, is what it is. But this is, again, a software name. There was the narrative going that software is absolutely getting crushed because of AI and how much code is going to output and things like that. This is in security world as well. So I do think security is going to be important, especially with AI and data leaks and hacks and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So keep CrowdStrike now on your radar. It's probably going to go retest the highs. When? I don't know, but it probably has another 6% move, 7% move within the next week or two. Probably some pullbacks within there, but watch the breakout, watch the chop, and then watch the breakout to all-time highs, right? Just be prepared for these scenarios, and then when you have your opportunities, take them. ServiceNow, this is pretty boring. Move on. Adobe, another. I am looking for an entry in Adobe tomorrow. Actually, I really like how this looks. This is a laggard. So my idea is when we have money coming out of these super extended chip names, where's that money going to flow? It's going to flow into the laggards. It might flow into software. And so if we have a reverse head and shoulders type look here, we have this 260 level basically to watch for the gap fill. Watch that to fill this next week. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for entries in this 249 area on intraday pullback on Monday. I will risk the low of Friday. If it undercuts Friday's low and reclaims, I will take that and I'll set it on the low on Monday. I got multiple plans here, but I will be looking to enter Adobe on Monday. Ideally, I can get in. It can be hard with work. Snowflake, another reversal. It's at the 50 EMA. I'd wait for it to clear it. Once it does, maybe we have room to the 200. DDOG, absolutely crushed earnings, it looks like. It is sitting near all-time highs. I wouldn't chase this now. I'd wait for it to chop around, maybe pull back, tag a short-term EMA. Let it digest this move first before you go chasing it. MongoDB, another reversal look. Does it look like Adobe? Yes, it does. Here's the left head, right shoulder, neckline, broke it. Going for the gap fill around 320. I'd watch that. MDB, the only thing is it's at the 200 EMA. So ideally it clears it and doesn't get rejected if you're going to choose to go long. Salesforce, another name that looks like it could potentially reverse. It's not as clean. Actually, matter of fact, we're going to move on because it's rejecting at the 50 EMA multiple times. It hasn't even held it yet. So let's just move on. IBM, chopping around, not super interesting. Netflix, I was calling for a gap fill. We almost have it. We just need a few more bucks. We'll see if it continues on down. I'm biased that it does. All right, so early cycle compute like silicon and memory. These are the guys that have been strong. So NVIDIA hitting all-time highs. We have Broadcom. I always say AVGO. It has absolutely ripped, right? Hitting all new all-time highs up and to the right. Looks strong. AMD, absolute monster. I am looking for an area to short this. This is parabolic. I would not be chasing it up here. Absolutely not. I'm looking for an 80-20 trade. The day opens, it pushes higher, it fails to move higher, it comes back within Friday's range. You short at Friday's high, and then you set the stop loss at the high of the day, and whatever happens, happens. That's how you manage your risk, and you move on. TSM actually looks pretty solid. It doesn't look super overextended. We have a nice pullback to the 80 EMA, nice bottom tail on Friday. Up and to the right, looks pretty good. Mu, Micron, just like AMD, absolutely extended. I would be looking for shorts, a short-term short, by the way. Marvel, look how extended this is, okay? These are names. INTC, absolute monster. These are names for next week that I will be watching for a pullback. And if we get pullbacks with how strong they are, where's the money going to flow? I think it might flow into software, at least for now. So if you look at all these, even Dell moving into servers and storage, AI hardware systems, these names are segment again. This is kind of where we filter out the noise. These names are very strong. They're very extended. They need some rest, in my opinion. I'm not interested in these names. I missed this entire move, which is fine. It is what it is. I didn't understand this entire move, and I'm a little late to it. I didn't get blown out, right? The people that survive are the people that last. And those are the people that make money and can make careers and not randomly press buttons. ANET, nothing to see there. CEIN, up and to the right, super strong. Core, so we're getting to the rack packed optical networking, things like that. COHR, coherent. This is kind of wedging here. I would be mindful of this pattern and just watch where it breaks. Okay, it's getting tight in there. That's an interesting one next week. GLW, it's a little sloppy right now. We can move on. LITE, Lumentum Holding, super strong name. Break of the downtrend. If you're a downtrend line break and retest person, this might be it for you. It's hitting the 21. It is under the 8. It's above the 50. Everything is up and to the right. Just it moves. So just if you're going to choose to do so, manage your risk. ENTG up and to the right looks pretty decent. CoreWeave had earnings, crushed it, getting a little selling on it. I entered along on Wednesday, long-term position, so I'm up a little bit, had a nice cushion going into earnings. This is kind of a set it and forget it name I will most likely add. NBIS, I also added last Wednesday, caught a nice little move. I have a nice cushion now. Basically, look at this, breakout, retest, nice little base, okay? Base, breakout, retest, and pushes higher. This thing can move. So again, I will be watching this as a potential buy area. So we're in the neo clouds, right? The computes. These guys rent compute basically. IREN, another mover hitting prior area of supply. I'd watch for a pullback, especially with how much it's moved. CORZ, again, super strong name. He broke out to all-time highs, had a very strong pullback on earnings, but did nothing but get bought up. APLD, Applied Digital, breaking out from this consolidation. If it breaks out here, this is a multi-month consolidation. So September of 2025 has been chopping around. I would watch for the breakout and potentially retest. If you want to get the breakout, it's high and it's getting tight. Low volume on the sell-off if you pay attention to volume, and it might just get tight around these prior highs and break out and move. So keep an eye on APLD into this next week. GE Vernova, failing at the 21. This looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more. We do have a $1,015 gap fill. Be mindful of that. VRT, super strong name, up and to the right. CAT, up and to the right. So look at all these power, energy, battery, grid, infrastructure build out. Bloom Energy had earnings, crushed it. It's pretty extended. It's moved a lot, 150% in a few days. Again, all of these names are extended. Exxon Mobil, reverse head and shoulders. Sorry, not reverse, a head and shoulders. This is an area of failed moves comes fast moves. So if, depending on how oil trades, this thing moves with oil. So if oil goes down, that will most likely go down. There's still a correlation with that. So Exxon Mobil, CVX, it's the same thing. LNG. I thought this was looking good up here. I thought energy was looking good last week up here, but then we got the gap down. And these things are just, I wouldn't touch these now, at least not on the long side. KMI, they're all looking weak. CCJ, it's chop zone. SMR, this actually looks like another reversal. Working on the 50 EMA, rejected here, right? Downtrend line. Now we have an 821 cross. If you care about that stuff, it's chopping around. It's still in indecision mode, right? This can easily come back down and retest that bottom there, but it does look like this could pop a little higher, maybe go for a run at those highs around 15 bucks, 14 bucks. OKLO, OKLO. This also is now holding the 200 EMA so far, another reversal name. So I do think once and when money flows out of the names that we just went over that were super strong, I think software might get some cash, energy might get some cash flowing into it. First Solar, FSLR, I love this name for next week moving forward as well. We have earnings out of the way. It's up and above. It's a trend reversal. We have a gap that we can fill all the way up to 240. So keep that in mind. I will be watching for, actually, you know what? I'm going to put a reminder. I'm going to look at right there, 223. I will keep that alerted. NXT getting tight. It's still choppy. I'd wait for the actual breakout. FLNC, this is a huge gap. I wouldn't chase this up here, but we got to wait for it to chop and consolidate and digest that move. Halliburton up and to the right, higher highs, higher lows, looking good. VLO higher, mid-range, it's chopping around a little bit. MPC making higher highs, higher lows, looking strong. I was looking for an entry. Honestly, this is the first pullback since the all-time high, creating a higher low here. So it actually looks pretty decent. Maybe moving into next week, we can take a shot at it. Now let's move into metals. This is kind of the metals scarcity physical inputs that are going to require the build out of AI, all the tech, the chips, the infrastructure for everything, right? I don't know if people truly understand what is coming and the build out and the infrastructure. There's thoughts and ideas that, hey, this is the fourth industrial revolution. I actually kind of believe that. If you don't use AI, I could understand why you don't understand that. If you use AI, you could understand, I think you would be able to, why someone would think this is the fourth industrial revolution and why, oopsies, why these things are coming here, okay? If you use AI, you would understand. If you don't, then you probably wouldn't understand. Chemicals, Albemarle, I think that's how you say it. ALB, either way. Nice rounding bottom. We're getting some volatility coming in, especially after earnings. Looks okay. FCX, if you track copper, this is going to be hard. Just be mindful if you're going to trade these names. They can gap down against you. Another copper name for you. SLV, this actually looks like it's about to potentially trend higher. Another silver name for you. WPM actually looks pretty solid, bullish and nearly bullish engulfing. It's a strong move, right? You think that, oh gosh, opened here, closed down here, but now this opened here and closed up here. It basically reversed the entire move on Thursday, on Friday. So pretty bullish, above the 200, above the short term, above the 50. I would be watching the precious metal, Wheaton precious metals, basically. HL, another metal move for you. This is potentially a higher low, potential reversal here. AG, if you trade commodities, I use this as a way to gauge what commodities could potentially do. There's correlations. GLD goes up, SLV goes up, actual SI, silver and gold futures go up because those are tied. Especially if you were trading them, back last fall time, early January, you could see that, especially when 930 opened and gold GLD here opened up, it would move gold futures. And so there is a correlation there. There is a connection there. And so looking into metals, I think would be a good idea. I'm not super familiar with them yet, but I will start tracking them and will start setting trade ideas for you. So this is next level: space, defense, autonomy, robotics, things like that, drones. Not a heavy list, but these are things that I'm going to watch. I actually bought Rocket Lab on Wednesday before earnings. Yes, I did. Caught a nice move. Have a nice cushion now. This is a longer term hold, future trade. So look, consolidation. Broke these lows. From failed moves comes fast move. Opposite end range is target. Did that, broke out, retested, consolidated, and then moved. This could have easily got crushed on earnings. So only hindsight is 2020. But Rocket Lab, keep it on your watch for next week. What I am going to do actually, is set an anchor VWAP from earnings and then watch for an intraday pullback. If you go on 20-minute, 30-minute, whatever you want to do, set an alert on that anchor VWAP. And then once it tags it, you get the alert and then set the VWAP for the day. Once the day, Monday, if it tags that and then gets above the Monday's VWAP for the day, then you can set the low maybe below this VWAP, below the Monday's low, et cetera, et cetera. Just have a plan. But that's an idea for you. This is a 3-day pivot. I would even, look to buy around 92 if we got something, and then set the low below Friday. So there's multiple ways that you can manage and trade this stuff to catch momentum of this volume, especially after a catalyst such as earnings. Lunar is probably another futuristic play, right? Look at the volume, nice push. Watch for this to move. ASTS, this will move. It's kind of got a sympathy play, but at the same time, actually, I lied. I personally will not be touching Rocket Lab just in case ASTS gets hit on Monday PM on earnings. I would expect a sympathy move from Rocket Lab, just like ASTS got a sympathy move from Rocket Lab. On the upside. So be mindful of that correlation there. Planet Labs, another one. Planet, space, things like that. Futuristic tech. Another Iridium communications space theme. LMT defense. This stuff is just getting hit hard. I mean, it actually looks lower. I wouldn't be shocked if we head down here to 485 or so. NOC, same thing. This is just getting hit. However, it is at a prior area of support. So this is an area you need to be paying attention to set up a potential bounce or potential buy or something like that. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, but it's a potential. GE, nothing crazy here. RTX, looks weak. Don't waste your time. Joby. I saw a freaking commercial about Joby. So you bet retail is about to come in on their aviation and air taxis coming in. We do have the 200 EMA right there, but this is a beautiful, if you pay attention to a 3-bar play, so bar number 1, volume pops, rest day doesn't give back 50% inside. What do? You buy at the high. So ideally you bought at 1062, your stop loss goes below this low at 967 and you let it ride. This technically, this setup is this thing is about to rip. So keep Joby on your watch list. Watch for the gap fill if it can get above that 200 EMA of 1131 to 1322. That's a move. Archer Aviation, similar. Potential reversal above the 50, above the 821, rounding, pops to the 200 EMA, right? So I'm adding some of these names because we need some volatility as well for ACD trading. Hood, it's chopping around. Okay, it's chopping around. Coin, if Bitcoin, which I need to go over also, starts to turn around, which it looks like it is, coin's going to move. Gap down on earnings, did nothing but get bought up. This is kind of wedging to the upside here, so it looks pretty good. Same thing with MSTR. Reversal, broke out of this, pulled back to the 21, found supply here, pulled back, it didn't get crushed on earnings, and now it's pushing higher. We do have the 200 EMA at 202, so be mindful of that. That's also near prior supply area of $200. So the risk reward, you got to make sure it's worth it here. For me, it is not, but overall reversal play there, it looks interesting. UPS getting hit. I wouldn't touch it personally. FDX, it needs some sort of resolution. CME kind of looks like it kind of bear flagged here. Gap down on earnings. I was saying, hey, look, this might be a reversal. This could be an area to risk against. Maybe it's going for, maybe it gets down here and sets a quote unquote double bottom, which is in my trading, it's not confirmed until it breaks the higher, the most recent high and then retests and starts pushing away. But it could come down to 275, 276 area to set a quasi double bottom and go from there. Let me do Bitcoin real quick. BTC, I'm going to start adding that in. BTC, USD. And we can look at that. See, 200 EMA downtrending. It's starting to flatten, but it's been slowly grinding. It's just slowly grinding higher. It's respecting the 8 and 21 EMA. There are prior levels. It is hitting a potential level of supply up here. So be mindful of that. And it has confluence of 200 EMA. So this could get hit. So if Bitcoin gets hit here, watch Hood, watch Coin, watch MSTR for potential downside as well. All right. There's the new watch list for you guys that I'm going to be paying attention to, going to be tracking, I'm going to be doing videos on and setups on. I'm going to be focusing on this stuff because this stuff I do think is going to actually build out the future of what's to come. And I need to be ahead of that, especially if you want to make money off of what's to come. You have to be in it. You have to be prepared. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. All right. Thanks for watching, subscribing. If you made it this far, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next week. Trade safe, manage your risk, trade your plan.